Welcome to the latest in a series of US2U Consulting Podcasts. My name is Rachel Blackburn and I'm founder and director of international management consultancy US2U Consulting Limited based in England. Today I'm really excited to be exploring the subject of how do we motivate, lead and get the best out of Generation Z people, the Gen Z population. What we're going to do is explore this subject with our work experience person for this summer, Charlotte Knight, as we explore this particular topic. Do get in touch for any feedback, questions, comments at rachelb@us2consulting.com. That's Rachel, RACHELB, at US2U Consulting.com. So I guess a good starting point, Charlotte, is to understand what do we mean by Gen Z?
So Gen Z stands for Generation Z, and it is the generation after Millennials and before Generation Alpha, and it is people who were born in 1997 to 2012.
Brilliant, so that's the population that we're talking about, that's great. So I guess based on your research, it's just understanding the differences, the things that you need to be looking out for as employers, as leaders of this particular population. So I guess a good starting point is, what do you and other Gen Z people look for in a job?
So I'd say a lot of us look for what the job actually is, and job enrichment is a really important factor here. So people like to feel valued about what they're doing, so they want to have a task that is actually worth something to the business. And I think having feedback from the business about how you're doing is really important here. So a big part is being valued and being part of a team. And then also having fun in the environment. People want to be in a work environment where they're having lots of fun, they're enjoying what they're doing, because people don't want to go to work if they don't enjoy it. So it's a big motivating factor, having fun at work, and also career development. They want to be at a job where they know that they can progress and develop further.
There's some really interesting points there. And I guess a lot of different people at work, maybe like career development and so on, some of the things that you've mentioned, they're getting feedback. I guess the standout one for me is probably the fun, because I guess a lot of people are thinking, well, yeah, if we can enjoy ourselves at work, that's great. We've got a lot of pressure, we've got a lot of targets, etc. So what does fun actually look like from your point of view and Gen Z's point of view in the workplace?
So I think, research has found that Gen Z has a shorter attention span than Millennials. So it's said to be 8 seconds compared to Millennials of 12 seconds. So I think it's really important to have lots of breaks, break up the work day, so divide out the work that you're doing. So I think it helps improve concentration by taking a break to go and do something fun, go into a break room with your work colleagues and just bond on a social level, so you work better in a team. And then when you go back to the task you're doing, your concentration's better. So having lots of breaks and like contests and challenges really helps improve, I think, the atmosphere in work.
Oh, that's great. Brilliant, and very interesting. And in terms of motivation, you may have touched a little bit on this, but what would you say the key things actually motivate you and other Gen Z people based on your research?
So I think two main factors are job empowerment and enrichment. So having responsibility and feel like you're doing individual work that is valued to the business, and having tasks that are, say, as you progress through the business, tasks that are harder as you go through, so you feel like you're developing and they're giving you harder tasks, more important tasks, really helps you to feel more engaged with the work that you're doing, and that really helps to motivate you there.
Oh, no, that's interesting. So what can an employer do to improve the way they get the best performance out of Gen Z?
So ways employers can improve Gen Z's performance would be to make sure that they're really feeling valued, and show them that the work they're doing is going towards something to help the business grow and do whatever they're wanting to achieve. It really helps you feel like you're part of the business and your work is actually valuable to them. So giving feedback here is really important to help improve your performance, and setting targets. And when you've achieved them, recognition of that achievement helps to motivate for your next task.
Brilliant, that's good. And I guess in a lot of businesses, one of the things that leaders of people are thinking about is how do I integrate the Gen Z people with people from different demographics, different backgrounds, different ages and so on to make sure the workplace is all inclusive. So based on your research, what advice have you got there, Charlotte?
So the best thing to attack this issue is not to separate the two into groups, is to treat them all as their one team and make sure you get feedback from everyone from the team of how they want it to proceed, how they want everything to work, how they want to communicate with everyone, so everyone feels like they've got the feedback there and that everyone feels like the work environment is being adapted to them as a person rather than just their generation, because everyone's different in the way they want to work there.
Okay, yeah, that's great. And then if we focus on job security, how important is job security to Gen Z?
So job security is really important. Obviously, with financial worries, everyone wants to have a secure job and secured pay coming in each month. But an important factor that kind of beats that is career development, because it really helps with motivation and self-esteem of having a good job that you know you're progressing in and you know that you're going somewhere. I think Gen Z likes to know where they're going and they want to know that they've got a career development plan that's set out for them by the business. So the business is saying, here is a plan for you, this is how we want to develop you, helps them feel valued and helps them know where they're going. And so that is one of the really important factors that they look for in a job.
Oh, that's great. And then how important is pay?
So I think pay is really, really important, because if it's not enough for the work you're doing, it demotivates you, and then you don't feel like you want to do the work that you're doing to the standard, because if the business isn't valuing for it, why would you put all this effort in? So I feel like it's a balance between your efforts and the business seeing those efforts is really important there.
Oh, that's good. And in terms of career development and different sorts of support that leaders and employers might need to put in place to get the best out of Gen Z people, what would you say are the most important things in terms of support?
So I think having good mental health and professional support are really important here. Mental health support has shown to improve productivity in teams because people have felt supported by the business, and that's helped improve their self-esteem, which has then led to improving their productivity. And so it's the business puts into them and then they put back to the business. So it works both ways. I think feeling supported by business when you're struggling, you're going through something, if work's too stressful, home's stressful, having that extra support in place just helps you feel more welcomed and more comfortable. And I think when people are more comfortable, then they can work better.
That's good. And what about the role of getting regular feedback if you're a Gen Z person?
So feedback is really important there. So I feel they need, because they're so used to regular communication with social media and everything, they're used to communicating with their friends all the time. So I think when it comes to a work environment, they like to have a similar amount of feedback here. So I don't know, say weekly feedback is just really beneficial, so they know where they're going. Because if they feel like they're doing well, they're not sure if their manager thinks they're doing well, and they want to know that to help them progress with their next activities. I think really is important to them and their growth.
So in terms of feedback, have you got any personal examples you can talk about?
So when working here, you've given me feedback that my academic writing was very good, and for me that was quite a big thing because I've been working on it for quite a few years. I used to struggle with it quite a bit. So having feedback in a professional environment that it's actually really good has been really good for me. It's boosted my self-esteem and now I'm more confident when I'm writing professionally, and I think that's a really beneficial skill that I'm going to be using in the future.
Oh, it's great. No, it is very good. So moving on to the next bit then, you've talked about personal development. What does that look like and why is it important?
So I think whenever someone from my generation is looking for a job, they're always thinking about what this job is going to give them, where's it going to take them in the next few years. They want to they want to know where they're going. So it's really important, say, to have a plan that's set out to you when you apply for a job. Say if you get a job somewhere new and they said, here's our plan for the next 3 years, this is your opportunities within the business. I think that shows the business wants to keep you and wants to develop you further, and it shows you that you've got opportunities there to develop yourself, which is the goal, really, to keep developing and growing.
Yeah, that's great. And in terms of personal development, enjoying the work, pay, etc., all these different things, based on your research, what would you say is the most important?
So really just having a fun environment and doing enriching tasks. So if you have fun when you go to work and you're doing something that's important, it's challenging, because you can get bored with easy tasks and you don't feel like you're pushing yourself. So I feel like when you've got challenging tasks, it motivates you further. You feel like you're getting better at things. You're pushing yourself. You're taking part to do more in the business. You're growing more. But that's, I think, fun and enriching work environment.
Oh, that's great. Good. And I guess just to sum up then, what would you say are maybe the top 3 things that you'd like people to take away and remember from this podcast?
So I think an important one is having an inclusive environment and feeling valued. So being part of the team, feeling you're part of the business, and the business showing you how important you are to them. And a fun work environment. You want to go to work every day and you want to have fun. You want to be motivated and do the things that you enjoy there. And then career development as well, just knowing where you're going, that you can progress within the business, and all the opportunities that are available to you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Charlotte, for sharing your thoughts, research and experiences with us. I'm sure you all found that really interesting and informative in terms of how we can create this all-inclusive work environment incorporating Gen Z people. Charlotte's also put together her thoughts, views, experiences on a document that you are very, very welcome to download from our website. So do take a look at the website US2U Do download that. And if you'd like to get in touch for any questions, any feedback, and you'd like us to help you with your inclusive environment, then look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.